What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video. Today we're looking at more underrated decks, and I'm excited for this one. It's the Psychic deck. Today's deck is really simple. It is just 2 TOGEKISS. So what that's going to look like is 2 Togepi, 2 Togetic, and 2 TOGEKISS. Of course, with TOGEKISS, we're going to be running 2 Cynthia to get that extra damage. We're also going to be running a single red just in case we can't get that Cynthia off for some reason, or we don't have it in time. We can still get that extra damage. I currently am using 1 Team Rocket Grunt to try and keep our opponents unable to attack, 1 Cyrus just in case they swap out Pokemon to pull them right back into that active spot. As always, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Professor's Research, and a Pokemon Communication to swap out for the Pokemon you really need. Finally, we'll have a Giant Cape and a Rocky Helmet, along with 2 Potions. Ideally, we'd use Potions here rather than Pokemon Center Ladies, because although Pokemon Center Ladies can also help with status conditions, you may run into a situation where you need to heal and use a Cynthia, where a Potion is going to be the only way to do that. And while I usually battle for you live, I actually was only able to screen record my perfect battle with this deck. So I'll commentate that for you now. Alright, jumping in here, we pulled a Togepi, Togetic, and Togekiss in our first hand with a Cynthia in the back line. We were able to use that Professor's Research and get a second Togepi and a Cape early on. That Cape was pivotal to keeping that Togepi alive early on as well. Now, our opponent was able to set up an Arceus, a Rocky Helmet, and a Pachirisu, and an Electabuzz early on, so I was very much worried about an Arceus play, hitting for that 130 damage. He ends up only hitting for 20, and we're able to get our second Togetic as well. So we have 2 Togepi, 2 Togetic. So we evolve into that Togetic and get our first energy to go for a quick 40 hit, taking us down to 60 HP. A little bit risky, but it's a risk we had to take there. Our opponent chooses to put that first energy on his Arceus, hoping to build that Arceus up again for that 110 or 130 hit, and we move swiftly into our turn with a Potion, which we're going to use on that Togetic to try and keep him alive, and instantly evolve into Togekiss. I mean, we also have our second Togetic on the bench, but we evolve into Togekiss because he only needs 2 energy to attack, and although he only can attack for 60 on the first hit, thankfully we were able to get that chip damage early on to make that a pretty simple point. And now with Togekiss's ability, we're able to hit for 120 on our next hit, and with a Cynthia, that's 170 with a Pokemon that only needs 2 energy to attack. The hardest part about this deck is just making sure you get your Pokemon, but as you can see, we were able to get 5 Pokemon in 3 turns, so it's not too difficult. That Pachirisu hits us for 10, and he gets 1 energy onto his Electabuzz to try and build up an Electivire, I believe. We're able to get a Rocky Helmet here, which we didn't really get to use much, but we did put it on the Togetic for good measure. I was slowly calculating what I needed to do here, if I needed to keep the Pachirisu alive or not. I ended up opting to retreat into our Togetic and go for a 40 hit on the Pachirisu, because we could still knock out that Pachirisu with 1 more hit, and if he swaps out, he has no way to attack, whereas we will be able to swap back out and attack again. And with that Rocky Helmet, if that Pachirisu does hit us, it'll be down to 10 HP. Our opponent did end up taking quite a while to get back into this match, so let's speed that. Okay, perfect. We get a Pokemon Communication, which is useless for us here. We can put that second energy on Togekiss and go for the KO with Togetic. So we now have 2 points, and we are able to attack with either Pokemon on the next turn. Finally, our opponent did not return in the allotted time, and we were able to get the win. Our opponent did not concede. He didn't lose, technically. He still had a chance. Just ended up timing out. But I'd love to hear how you get on with this deck. I very much enjoy it. Please play around with the supporter and item cards. The biggest issue you usually run into with a Psychic deck is that they are weak to Dark, but Togekiss is weak to Metal. So, like I said, let me know how you enjoy this, and make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Peace.